Quick question. Have you checked the label on your lunchbox, your delivery van, or your favorite candy bar lately? Right now, in 2025, a quiet shift is changing what we consider American-made. Iconic products we grew up with are now being produced just across the northern border in Canada. This subtle change touches everything from our grocery aisles to our driveways, and most of us haven't even noticed. So why is this happening? And what does it mean for America's identity? Let's break it down product by product. Let's start with Heinz ketchup, once a Pittsburgh icon, now often made in Montreal, Quebec. Why the move? Lower costs and a friendlier trade environment. Canada offers cheaper operations, and the USMCA makes cross-border shipping easy and tariff-light. For Kraft Heinz, it's all about margins. Saving a few cents per bottle means millions at scale. So, the ketchup on your hot dog may have traveled south from Canada. It's a classic case of economics over tradition. The label still feels American, but the story behind it is now international. Welcome to the new ketchup reality. Remember the O. Henry bar? Once a US staple, now it's made in Canada. In Canada, it's still a top seller, but in the US, it was discontinued and replaced by the Rally bar. A different recipe, a different experience. Hershey centralized production in Canada for efficiency, leaving Americans with a rebranded, altered version. The result? 2 countries, 2 candy bars, 1 split legacy. It's not just a label change, it's a transformation of the product itself. Sometimes nostalgia gets outsourced too. Sour Patch Kids, an American favorite, but most are made in Hamilton, Ontario. Mondelez International's Canadian plant churns out these gummies for the US market. Why Hamilton? Scale, technology, and a skilled workforce, plus seamless trade under USMCA. For consumers, there's no difference, just a cross-border supply chain. The brand is American, but the factory is Canadian. It's a perfect example of how brand identity and manufacturing location have become disconnected. The Sour Patch paradox, American in spirit, Canadian in production. Welcome to the new normal for your favorite snacks. The Chevrolet Silverado, an American icon, but many are built in Oshawa, Ontario. GM's investment in Canada diversifies production and meets high demand. Why Canada? Skilled workers, government support, and easy cross-border logistics. Thanks to USMCA, building trucks in Ontario is as viable as in Michigan. So that convoy of Silverados in Texas? Some were assembled by Canadian hands. The all-American truck is now a North American collaboration. The badge says Chevy, but the story is continental. Meet the BrightDrop EV600, America's futuristic electric delivery van built exclusively in Ingersoll, Ontario. GM transformed a Canadian plant into an EV hub, betting big on the future of logistics. Ironically, while the US pushes for a domestic EV revolution, a key vehicle is imported from Canada. Canadian expertise and incentives made it the smart business move. The BrightDrop EV600, American-designed, Canadian-built, central to US climate goals. The electric future is more cross-border than you think. Sometimes, made in America is a team effort. Bridge Mix, a nostalgic Hershey's treat, now mostly made in Smiths Falls, Ontario. The recipe and mix have changed, and US availability is spotty. Why? Production moved to a Canadian facility, now run by a local chocolate company. The label still says Hershey, but the product is Canadian. Manufacturing shifts can change taste, composition, and even supply. The brand remains, but the Bridge Mix you remember is now a cross-border creation. Sometimes the answer is right across the border. Swedish Fish, an American candy aisle staple, but now made in Hamilton, Ontario, alongside Sour Patch Kids. Mondelez consolidated gummy production for efficiency. The branding is all American, but the Made in Canada label is just a footnote. Consumers rarely notice, but these candies cross the border before hitting US shelves. It's a masterclass in branding and supply chain management. The product feels American, but its journey is international. The real story swims north. Jeep Compass, once built in Illinois, now moving to Brampton, Ontario. Stellantis is consolidating production for efficiency, aided by USMCA's easy trade. The Illinois plant is idled. Brampton gets a new lease on life. The Compass will be shipped from Canada to US dealerships as easily as from any American state. Brand identity and manufacturing reality are no longer aligned. The spirit of Jeep is American, but the assembly line is Canadian. The compass, quite literally, points north. The Dodge Charger, Detroit's muscle car legend but built in Brampton, Ontario since 2005. The same plant produces the Challenger and Chrysler 300. Why Canada? Skilled labor, cost efficiency, and a legacy of large car production. The economics made sense and the North American Auto Pact made it easy. For nearly 2 decades, the American muscle car has been a Canadian export. As the electric era dawns, the legacy remains. The Charger's roar is American, but its birthplace is Canadian. Sometimes the Made In label is just a suggestion. The Chrysler Pacifica, America's family minivan, but everyone is built in Windsor, Ontario. The Windsor plant invented and perfected the minivan, supplying the entire global market. Why stay in Canada? Specialized workforce, suppliers, and infrastructure. It's too efficient to move production elsewhere. The Pacifica is designed in Michigan but born in Ontario. The backbone of American suburbia is a Canadian product. It's a cross-border partnership that's lasted decades. The ultimate silent shift, the American minivan made in Canada. From ketchup to minivans, the line between Made in America and Made in Canada is blurrier than ever. This isn't about winners or losers, it's about a deeply integrated North American manufacturing reality. The products we love are often the result of invisible cross-border collaboration. As supply chains grow more complex, this trend will only accelerate. The story behind a product is often as fascinating as the product itself. If this surprised you, like, comment, and subscribe for more insights. Thanks for watching.